Hi guys, welcome back to 30 Days to Your First Website Design, a Tuts+ premium course. I'm Ian Yates, and today we're going to quickly look at project organization. We'll begin as always by taking a quick look at what we're going to cover in this video. Well, we're going to look at common directory structure and then file naming conventions. Then I'll ask you to get your hands dirty with an assignment before we begin the next video. So let's first look at our project directory structure. There are conventions which are advisable, though not compulsory, to follow in order to make your life easier in the long run. Using common folder and file names will help if you or others ever need to work on your project further down the line. Let's look at a typical folder structure. We'll just leave our presentation here, and I have on my desktop a generic project folder here, my site, which contains nothing other than a blank index HTML file. If I just quickly open that up in Coda, you'll see that it consists of nothing other than a doc type declaration and the minimum tags necessary to begin a file. We'll discuss this later on though. Now we will also need various assets. We've already discussed our sprite PNG, for example, so we could just throw that in there. We'd also need CSS files, for example, maybe a reset CSS and a main CSS. I'll just dump those in there as well. But it could quickly get a bit messy and would be very unclear. So it's advisable to use various directories to separate all your content. A typical start would be a CSS or style sheet folder, whatever you like to call it. Remember, these are guidelines, they're not compulsory, but it is a naming convention which makes it easier for other people to interpret your project. We would also likely need an image folder or images folder. There, our PNG sprite sheet would go in there, for example, and also likely a JavaScript or JS or behavior folder. That is fairly standard. And it's a great way to begin your project. Now, as mentioned, using common names will help others understand your work. If we go into our CSS folder here, I'm going to add a third CSS file in there. Now, using common, take these file names for example. It's clear what the purpose of each of these three CSS files is. We have a reset CSS, then we have a main CSS, and then we have this third blue theme CSS. It's clear what we're looking at there. If we were to have called these file 1, file 2, file 3, it would be very difficult to interpret how this project is built. Also, you should avoid using spaces within your file or folder names. Spaces can conflict in some situations, so stick to underscores or hyphens if necessary. You can also use camel case, such as this example, if that's your preference. Lastly, it's worth mentioning that you should zip it up. You'll find you often begin from the same starting point when you begin any web project, so why not make it easy for yourself and save time recreating this structure every occasion. Zip up the template so it's available every time you begin a project. You may find yourself adding to this template over time if you find there are some files like JavaScript or perhaps PHP that you commonly use. Now, I have no further reading for you as such, more of a recommendation. Check out this NetTuts file structure, which allows you to simply recreate directories and files without going through the normal process in whatever operating system you use. Now, before we jump into the next video, I have an assignment for you. Prepare your directory structure, as we just did, and zip it up ready for use with other projects further down the line. Next time on the 30 Days to Your First Website Design, we're going to choose our coding applications. I'm Ian Yates, and from all of us here at Tuts+, thank you for watching.